Welcome to Beyond IC. Beyond IC is a brand new podcast that will feature students and faculty from different study abroad programs. They will share their experience about key topics and give advice to future participants.
Steve Kerem has served as the ICLA program coordinator for 2.5 years, working alongside program director Stephen Tropiano to help guide students through every step of the program. From reviewing applications to supporting students as they secure internships in Los Angeles, Steve plays a key role in shaping the ICLA journey. Steve, welcome to Beyond IC.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about the ICLA program. For students who may have heard of it but don't fully understand what it offers, how would you describe the program in a nutshell?
The ICLA program in a nutshell. It is basically a semester-long program for mainly Park students, film, TV. There's now journalism, there's sports media. There's a lot more majors than when I was going to school there. But it is a semester-long program to get students immersed in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles. So they come out here for a semester. We do have courses. It is still like a full 12 credit course semester, but it's mostly based around the internships. We want to get students, working in the industry. So it's they're coming out here to experience an internship.
Yes, definitely. And the application process that has many components, including a personal essay, resume, your unofficial transcript, and academic and work recommendations. When you're reviewing applicants, what tends to matter most?
What tends to matter most? Um, when we go through the applications, I will let you know, I do read through every single document that is uploaded for every single applicant. Um, it's kind of a combination of everything. Why do they want to come out here? Which semester do they want to come out here for? We do look at all of the recommendations. We do read their personal essay. So do you want to just come out here because you don't want to spend a winter in Ithaca? Or do you really want to come out here because you want to, work in Los Angeles? And are you thinking about moving out here? Are you really like investing yourself in a career out here? And do you want to work in the entertainment industry?
And with that, I want to talk about like semester selection. You can participate in the ICLA program during the fall, spring, or summer semesters, and many students choose to go the spring of their senior year. When do you think is the best time to participate in ICLA?
There really is no answer to that from us. To be honest, the answer lies within the applicant and the student. There isn't really a better time or a worse time to come out here. It really is personal preference. So, um, this program was started, 30 some years ago, as a junior. It was a junior based program. It was geared towards juniors because they wanted to have juniors come out here, experience Los Angeles, do an internship, and then have another year back at school to kind of think things through and take that experience in LA back with them to think like, okay, should I be taking more courses in this? Should I gear my path, this way based on the internship that I just had? Or just to give yourself time to kind of think things through, then kind of rush through everything. So it was intended as a junior level program. Now, that said, we do definitely get a lot more seniors now that want to come out here, and understandably so. I was a senior when I came out here um, uh, back in 1995. The program was only a year old. I came out here in 95, my senior year, my last semester. It was a great decision. It was the best decision I probably ever made, and it definitely catapulted my career. And I went back to Ithaca. I graduated, and then spent the summer in Ithaca, and then I drove cross country and I moved back out here right away. I didn't have a job to come to. I didn't have an apartment to come to. It was, I was sleeping on a friend's couch. And it took me 1 month to get an apartment and a job. Um,
That's so impressive.
yeah. I mean, that's not everybody's story. You know, the crazy thing is that now the industry is different than it was back then. Production is down, the landscape is changing. That's just the facts, and like I can't sugarcoat that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities out here, and it doesn't mean that there isn't a network of alums that are out here that look out for each other. My first job was with a fellow alum who basically she was working at a production company and she got bumped up from the front desk and she said, "Would you want to come in and be the receptionist?" And I said, "Sure." Like I don't have a job. I'll do anything. So I was a receptionist at a production company. And that was my first job here. So yes, so to your question, there isn't really a better time to come out here except what you want to do. You know, we think, I say we as the program, meaning me and the director, but we think that it's beneficial for students to come out here in the fall and have, let's say, seniors to come out here in the fall and have another semester to go back to think things through, to just kind of not rush everything. That being said, there is also something to be said for seniors to come out here their spring in the spring with the hopes that, if you're planning to move to LA or stay here right after graduation, then yes, you do have your contacts, you do have your connections, they're fresh. That was my experience. I came out here, in the spring and my connections were fresh and I wanted to come right back out here and just kind of like build on that. That doesn't mean that I got a job from those internship connections. It does happen and it can happen, but it's not a guarantee. And I think a lot of students want to feel like they can come out here, do an internship, it'll turn into a job, and their life is just going to start right away. And it's a great dream to have. It doesn't always pan out that way, and that's just life.
How would you say, ICLA faculty help students secure these internships?
I will say it's not just faculty, it's the ICLA staff. So, a couple of them happen to be faculty, but it really is it's the ICLA staff that works with the students. Basically, students will be assigned an advisor once they're here, and it's going to be either Stephen or Stephen. Not me. I'm the third Stephen, but it'll be either Stephen or Stephen, and we basically we help the students from the beginning. So we work with them on their resume, we work with them on their cover letter because those are very important tools. Like this is how you present yourself and this is how you apply for internships is with your resume and a cover letter. People might think that cover letters are kind of a thing of the past, but they're not. And there really is I don't want to say a right way and a wrong way, but there isn't one right way, but there's definitely wrong ways to do it, right? So we work with you. Um, we've started doing workshops now, like resume workshops, to kind of reach everybody that has been accepted to the program. So for the next semester, the incoming semester, we want to work with you as much as possible to get your resume in order, to make sure that you're presenting yourself the best way possible when you apply for internships. The good thing is that we've been around for a while, so we do have a lot of companies that we work with regularly. So, it's just a matter of communication with them of when they are going to be looking for when they're going to be looking for their next interns, and then we can, let the students know that they are ready to, accept applications. It's going to be on you, the student, to do the research, to find companies that you want to work for, to find companies that are doing, the types of programming or production that you're interested in. Um, and to reach out to them and just to see like, hey, are you looking for interns for this spring?
Yeah, I interviewed at my internship company, like I would say like early to mid-September, and then yeah, didn't start working until end of September. So yeah, I definitely want to reassure everyone that like everyone's, as you always say, like everyone's gonna get an internship. It's just about timing and when and patience and yeah.
Yeah. No, nobody's come through the program without getting an internship. It's just a matter of when they start. And, just so that we can, kind of put some minds at ease is, I understand how it can be stressful. I understand, the nerves involved when you come out here, you don't have your internship. Um, you feel like all of your friends have theirs. Like, what's wrong with you? Why isn't this happening? But there is definitely time to work, and sometimes it's even easier for us to work with you one-on-one when you're here, to help you find an internship rather than, over the summer or, before you get here. Because then we have like, we have our list of students that are still looking, and we can kind of, gear people to certain places that we know would be a better fit. We want students to get their first choice. We want students to get an internship where they want to have an internship. That's what we want. That can only happen if you start early, right? That just betters your chances to get the internship that you want. I won't say that's the only way to like get the internship that you want. It betters your chances to get the internship that you want if you start early. We want everybody to get their first choice. It doesn't mean you will get your first choice, but we want that to happen. That doesn't mean that your second, third, fourth choice isn't going to be a great internship, but we just want to help you with the best chance that you can have to get the internship that you want.
Definitely. And like to that point with like trying to like, put your best foot forward. I feel like as a former ICLA student, I definitely feel like I could have prepared more as an underclassman. What can freshmen and sophomores start doing now to position themselves better for ICLA?
I love this question because this is something that I've been talking to the director about, and I really feel it's important for us to reach the freshmen and the sophomores before they start applying to the LA program. I want to reach them because if they even think that that ICLA is what they want to do or is an option for them as a junior or senior, um, it really is about getting busy and getting active and getting things to put on your resume. It's start building your resume as a freshman. It's definitely easier for some than it is for others, depending on what you want to do. A lot more, production oriented things. You can get a lot more like production experience in your college career. Screenwriters might have a little bit more difficulty getting experience because they're just trying to write screenplays or pitches or TV pilots or whatever it is. And a lot of it ends up just being coursework. It ends up being like I wrote this for this class. If ICLA is, in your academic plan, you just have to understand that you're going to be competing for an internship with lots of other applicants from lots of other schools. You're all vying for the same internships. So, some of the bigger companies like Disney and Universal and Paramount, like those bigger companies, they are getting applications from students who have had two or three internships already. So you're competing with somebody who's already done, two or three internships, and that's going to be, they're going to be at the top of the pile. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get an internship. What I'm saying is that we want to better your chances as much as possible. So what I would say to the freshmen and the sophomores are to get busy and get active. Build that resume, get those summer jobs, do summer internships,
Hmm.
do whatever you can to get experience, to get stuff that you can put on a resume so that by the time you're a junior or a senior, you have more experience than you think you might need.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Well, Steve, thank you so much. We have the game segment. It's this or
Yeah.
that. I have 5 questions ready, and all you have to do is say your answer, no thinking, no explanation, just like rapid fire. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Fall or spring semester?
Fall.
For internships, big studio or small boutique company?
Small boutique company.
Busy internship schedule or balanced lifestyle?
Balanced lifestyle.
One close mentor or a wide network?
Wide network.
Okay, student who knows exactly what they want or student still figuring it out?
Student who knows what they want.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steve. Thanks for joining Beyond IC.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Ava Butler is a junior television and digital media major and APRMC minor. Hear Ava talk about how she found an internship, what it was like to work in a studio environment, and the lessons she took away that can help other students break into the industry. Ava, welcome to Beyond IC.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, to the listeners who don't know, Ava and I were roommates this past semester in LA, and we were both on the track team, but we didn't really know each other, and we got closer because of this program. So I'm so excited to be talking with you today, Ava. So we both were in the LA program during our fall semesters, our junior year, and you worked as an unscripted development and current intern at Fox Entertainment Studios. Can you walk us through how you landed this internship?
Yeah, okay. So I want to say that I kind of got pretty lucky with this internship. The applications for Fox had opened up in late May, I believe, and they closed towards the end of June. So I was just applying all throughout the summer for internships for the fall in LA. And I believe with the Fox application, there's different sections. You apply for sports, you apply for entertainment, you apply for news, and then you kind of indicate your preferences of where you'd like to be placed within that. And then in early August, I was contacted by one of their campus recruiter interns about them wanting to interview me and setting that up. So about a week later, I had a really short Zoom meeting with the guy who ended up being my boss, Andrew McElvaney, at Fox Entertainment Studios. Shout out him. We talked about our favorite shows, the kind of things I was interested in doing, the kind of things that they were doing at the studio. And about 3 days later, I was contacted by the campus recruiter and told that I was given the offer. And I spent about 11 weeks there, 3 months there. So yeah, it was great. Wouldn't have changed that experience for the world, yeah.
And going into this internship, did you want to be in development and production? And how did you find Fox? And did you go on internship websites? Where should students be looking?
Yeah, so I definitely was interested going into it in the production aspect of it. I wasn't, super specific on whether I wanted to be in development and current, and I ended up being both because in the fall and the spring they only have one intern for their team, so that's why I was kind of stretched across both departments. But typically in the summer they'd have one in development, one in currents. But I'm glad I got that mixed experience of all of it because I just wanted to be more exposed to the industry and everything that I could possibly get my hands on. And I think I found this internship on entertainmentcareers.net. I was told by my advisor that I think it's $5 a month to get the membership for this, and you can apply to a ton of different internships. That's actually where I heard back the most from other companies as well. You can kind of just you can either apply right there, or it'll send you to the website of the employer.
How can students make themselves indispensable in roles like unscripted development?
Definitely just being open to absolutely everything and saying yes to everything. I actually got some great advice from none other than Henry Winkler himself last summer when I was on a social media shoot with him, and he's such an amazing person. Like, he was so great to meet. But we were just talking about how I was going out to LA and going into the industry, working my way in. And he kind of just said, yeah, like, make yourself indispensable, be the yes person, make your boss's life, everyone else's life around you easier. So just being open to absolutely everything. I think I was pretty lucky with that because I didn't have a specific experience that I was really like wanting to go towards. I just wanted to explore all of it. So yeah, I had the opportunity to do so many cool and incredible things and meet so many amazing people there. I pitched my own 2 shows to the development team there, so that was really awesome. But yeah, just like being open to absolutely anything.
Yes, definitely. Is there anything you wish you had known before your first day at Fox?
Oh, that's a good question. I think probably just be a little less nervous and like, not that I was super nervous, but I think I was very serious going into it, and my team was like the nicest team ever, super chill, just amazing people to work with. So I think I was like expecting it to be a little bit more like super serious, like super crazy, getting thrown right into it. But they were super accommodating to me and just very nice, just really showed me the ropes of everything. So I think, yeah, just be yourself, like know that you're there for a reason and that they want you there.
Yeah. I want to talk about, I mean, you said like being, we're there for a reason. We're there to learn. We're interns, we're trying to get into this industry and break in. And I bet interning at a big corporation like Fox, it must have been really intimidating. Did you ever feel imposter syndrome stepping onto the Fox lots?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so there was a pretty big intern cohort too. There was probably about, I want to say 100, if not more of us across like the different departments in LA. And I definitely became friends with a lot of them. They were all great people, but they were all LA school students, UCLA, USC. They were from the area. They had already had a ton of internships before. So that was definitely a little bit intimidating, and I really didn't know what my, bosses initially expected of me. They had told me that I was just coming off of, they had the 2 interns over the summer, so they had 1 current intern and 1 development intern. And they had said they were great. I saw like some of the shows that they pitched. So I kind of felt like at first I was like filling some pretty big shoes, and I just, definitely felt a little out of place. I mean, I was coming from a small school in upstate New York that not many people had heard of before. So, yeah, definitely felt some imposter syndrome, especially because, they're filming all these crazy shows around me. Like, they were filming the new Muppets show is out. They were filming that right across in the lot, the soundstage right across from my building. And they were also filming The Masked Singer when I was there. So it was definitely pretty surreal then to be just like kind of thrown into all of that, and just like the fact that I was just there. But eventually like I started to get into the work and realized like, yeah, I am here and I'm doing this job, and they wanted me here. Like, they picked me for a reason. So yeah, it was crazy. I definitely had a little bit of imposter syndrome, but I think eventually like I got settled into it. So
yeah, how did you navigate that self-doubt while performing at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just had to just kind of take it day by day. Really just put my best foot forward every single day. If I didn't know something, then I was going to ask a question. I think that was a little bit scary at first too, because you want to seem like, you can still do this work and that you're not totally clueless. But asking questions is totally fine, and you want to obviously do things right and you want to do them well. So it's always okay to ask for a little bit of help. So I, asking for a little bit of guidance here and there and talking to the other interns about their experiences was also pretty helpful.
Yeah, being an intern for the first time is always so scary, and just to like know that you can lean on other people, because I feel like, especially as like filmmakers trying to break into this industry, it's so competitive, and everybody just wants to work in this industry. So you want to prove yourself, but to know that you don't know everything. You're new, you're young, you're learning. So to lean on that support system that that company like provides you and ask questions. Yeah, it's definitely, For the first time ever, The Masked Singer taped on the Fox lot, and you had the chance to contribute and see the production up close. How did being on set shift your understanding of the collaboration between development and production?
Yeah, so that was, the best thing ever. Going into the internship, I definitely was a bit more interested in like the actual on-set production. So I'm super glad I got the opportunity with that because, again, it was the first time that I had filmed on the lot ever. I don't think I would have been as involved with it if it was off-site. But yeah, just being there, I worked pretty closely with some of the executives, the current executives. So that was really awesome. You kind of just, it's this huge soundstage, and they built it up in about a week, which was crazy to watch that happen. And yeah, they were on a pretty like different schedule. It changed a lot depending on like how many days were in between filming and prep and like dry performances. But yeah, so I helped out the current executives a little bit with some of like their show rundowns, like sorting out when the different characters were going to be on what episode and who was battling against who, and going through all of that, all of like the performers, I guess, the characters, all of like their backstories and their hints and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. I think development wasn't there as much just because they were, pumping out a bunch of other show ideas. But they were definitely there when the show's taped, which was awesome. And of course, like they had been working together to get it to that point of filming too. But that was more so when you kind of see it hand off to the current executives and how they deal with all of that and the showrunners and getting it all put together. But yeah, they had a nice little wrap party, I know, and they had their little opening party, which was super fun. I got to write the hosts of the show and the judges little like thank you notes in the beginning too, which was super fun. So.
At the end of your internship, you developed and pitched your own unscripted show, which you were talking about earlier. What did that experience teach you about both the creative and business sides of selling a concept?
Yeah, okay, so that was my like whole intern project, I guess. A lot of the interns have a project at Fox that they usually can work on. I worked on mine throughout my entire internship. Some just do it towards the end depending on like what work they had done in their internship specifically. But yeah, my supervisor had kind of helped me throughout that whole process. I ended up pitching 2 shows because, again, I was the only intern, so I had a little bit more time to explain and expand on both my concepts that I chose. So yeah, that was awesome. I had the help from my supervisor the entire time. I met with him once a week to go over ideas and then start building my pitch deck. I met with the other executive assistants that were there as well and kind of like did my little pitch in front of them. One of my pitches involved, it was kind of like a game show concept, so we would like play that game. And I eventually played that game with the executives that I pitched the show to, which was super fun. But yeah, and I also sat in on a ton of the development meetings as well, and kind of how the different executives and assistants discussed the pitches that they had recently gotten, if they were liking things, if they weren't, what they were talking to different networks about, and if it's something that could be on Fox, if it was something for something else. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I had never experienced something like that before, and I didn't really know the ins and outs of that process before. So it was really cool to see that. It's it's a lot of just talking through ideas and seeing what's going to work, what's not going to work, if people are going to like something, if people aren't, how is this going to fit in the current climate and stuff like that. They also recently invested in a vertical video company, which was more for like their scripted side. Their scripted side was doing a ton of stuff for that, which was super cool to see as well. But also questions of like how could unscripted possibly come into this world of vertical videos as well, if that's going to work. So, lots of back and forth. It's an everyday hustle for sure, but it was very cool to see that, yeah.
Yeah, cool. The last week of the LA program, the faculty director sends out everyone intern evaluations to your internship supervisor to fill out. Your eval came back, and your supervisor, he had a really great experience with you, wants you back. What do you think contributed to that?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think I would hope it was kind of just me being myself. I would definitely say that I fostered some very close relationships with my supervisor and the other executive assistants there, which I'm so grateful for. I think, yeah, it was just kind of like, if you're passionate about this work and you go in every day and you want to be there and you want to do this, that definitely helps. I was so excited to be there every single day. I mean, how could you not? So I think, yeah, having that excitement and that willingness was definitely there, like being ready and willing to do anything and just hang out with everyone and become like friends with everyone. You know, it's not, you know, they're your coworkers, but you're working with them. And this whole industry is about like the connections and the people you know. So definitely having the ability to like foster those close relationships, I think was the best part of it too.
Yeah. And, you know, we went as juniors, and it's funny because my program definitely advertises my major to go in their senior year. And can you talk to us what it was like going in your junior year, why you wanted to go your junior year, like what influenced that decision?
Yeah. So initially I was going to go my senior fall. Again, I'm on the track team, but so, you know, my spring semesters are pretty busy. I have both seasons of competition then, so I didn't want to miss that. So I was planning to go my senior fall just because when I kind of realized I wanted to go to LA, it was a bit too late to apply for the fall, but I ended up talking to my advisor, and he got in touch with Steve Kerem, and I was able to get in for my junior fall, excuse me, which I'm so glad I got the opportunity to, because I think I wanted to still have my last year here at Ithaca, just really, you know, fostering those connections with my peers and with my professors, and really like bringing everything together. I think it's great. I think, yeah, again, a lot of seniors really do go in their last year, like in the fall or in the spring. But yeah, I think I wanted to go to just, you know, throw myself out there. It was really something that I wasn't expecting myself to do, I guess, so early. So I'm glad I kind of just like hopped on the plane and got out there and just put myself out there. So yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yes, 100%, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ava, for joining us. I want to like end the episode with a little like podcast game segment. This is like rapid fire questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you 5 questions. No explanation, just off the top of your head.
Okay.
Just give me an answer. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Trade reports or pitch decks?
Pitch decks.
Early call time or midnight production wrap?
Midnight production wrap.
Okay. LA or New York?
New York.
Traffic commute or can't find a parking spot? Guys, can I tell you, we had the craziest experience with traffic in LA.
Okay, wait, traffic.
Parking.
Parking was also really bad because for some reason every single spot in LA is a compact spot and there's no compact cars in LA.
Parking at Trader Joe's. Like,
yeah, I'm
not.
gonna say that the traffic commute is actually awful though.
Okay, you'd rather have the traffic commute?
No, I'd rather not be able to find a parking spot.
Okay, got it.
Traffic,
okay.
I can't do.
Okay, yeah, can't do traffic. Okay, know how your career ends or be surprised by it?
Ooh, be surprised by it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I love a little mystery.
Yeah. Who knows? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ava.
Thank you for having me, Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Beyond IC. Beyond IC is an Ithacan podcast, and if you want to listen to more Ithacan podcasts, listen here or go to our website, theithacan.org.